Right, I hope you can see this okay. This is the current tide status, so we're a bit after low tide and the tide is gradually coming up again. I am located between the really rather boring London Bridge down there, past the pushpin marking where London Bridge Station is, and past the light cruiser from World War II vintage, HMS Belfast. Behind that, the curved building City Hall, where currently I believe the local government still is. I believe they're going to move. Tower Bridge, you can't really see it on this bank, just this side of Tower Bridge, but it's the Tower of London, which I don't think you can go into at the moment. And to give you an idea of the tidal range, which is about 8 meters, but it can be a lot less. It depends. It can be 6 meters. It depends on the moon and various other things lining up. Now, what's interesting about this path is if you get a really high tide, say 7.5 meters and up, that's above mean sea level, because the low tides can be negative numbers, this will flood, and people don't always quite appreciate that. And also it's lower at this end by a little bit than at the other end, so you get people starting walking in from the other end where it may be dry or there's a tiny bit of water, and it gradually gets more and more, and people tend to keep walking and eventually start getting quite wet. And I've seen people actually getting up on the railings and clambering along past the last bit where it was a little bit too wet to be sensible. Though there's no actual need to do that, because what you can do is you can walk like about 20 meters that way to the road and just walk along, and you come out at where the other end of this would be. Though a major improvement in the last year is that now, previously you had to go inland at the end of this walkway, but now you can just keep going because they've opened it up. Though currently I don't believe you can go through the Tower of London area, because that's all closed, so you have to walk around. Other than that, you can just see the river heading off downstream, which is ahead of us. Though of course, because it's tidal, when the tide's coming in, which it is at the moment, the current's actually going the other way because water's getting pushed in from the channel. So that's really... oh, there's a kayaker down there. There's not too much boat travel around today, but you have to be quite careful with the kayak, because there's some very big boats travel down here, you know, things like tugboats with huge barges, and sometimes they pull and sometimes they push, and if they're pushing, it's got to be a bit exciting with the visibility, I'd have thought. So if you ever do have it come down here for a canoe or a kayak, pay attention.